Hello, YouTube, and welcome back to me trying to read every single lost episode creepypasta that I can get my hands on. Today, we'll be reading Wild Animation Show Lost Adult Swim Show. And it seems to say here that this is a story loosely inspired by the Adult Swim creepypasta Turn the Crank, written by Wisdom Monkey. Now, I've heard about Turn the Crank. Haven't read it myself, but I've heard about it. So it's nice to see people drawing inspiration from other creepypastas. So why don't we just get into it? Wild Animation Show Lost Adult Swim Show. The phrase weird or unsettling is often thrown around in certain phrases, but sometimes seeing something that you couldn't explain would really bring home the message. The exact details on the show that was found was that this was an experimental show from Adult Swim back in 2007, directed by an unknown individual who said to have been a relative to the Squidbillies director Jim Fortier, allegedly. Production of the show started way back in 2002, but was shelved due to not having enough time and just started their channel just a year ago. The show in question and the episode, Wild Animation Show, was a live-action puppet hybrid show made as a poor, low-budget, public access series gone wrong. It stars a puppet named Mr. Sharp, who often reviews popular cartoons from the 80s, 90s, and even some of the newer cartoons of the 2000s. Being this was on Adult Swim, they got away with some heavy uses of drinking, smoking, and swearing. Think Family Guy, but take a segment and stretch it into a full episode. The series went through production before it was finally canceled 2 years after it aired due to one of the episodes being so disturbing it caused a widespread divide among the crew at Adult Swim. Reports spread that exactly 4 people went missing, 2 people had quit their jobs, and 1 employee later jumped off the building. Fitting that the episode was so task-worthy, so damaging, and so disturbing they had vivid nightmares and hallucinations about it. Tom and Jerry was the 25th episode of Season 3 and said to be the most disastrous episode to work on, with the puppeteer of Mr. Sharp said to have quit the job in early July of 2008 before hiring one of the screen producers to be Mr. Sharp. Then, after one screening of the episode, the series plummeted downward into a spiral that led Adult Swim into a very conflicting spot. Testing room. According to one of the writers, the director started the episode, which he said was fully completed. The episode started with the intro before showing the puppet. Everything was eerily quiet, with the only sound being the production lights. Then, Mr. Sharp spoke. It was this eerie, disturbing man voice, almost like he was either whispering or some sort of villain. Welcome to the Wild Animation Show. I'm your host, Mr. Sharp. We'll be reviewing Tom and Jerry. The episode went fine until it glitched. The frame started flickering and some elements looked off. Then, in a sudden shift, Mr. Sharp slams a fist on his desk. He had this disturbing grin. What I love about the series is the violence, especially when Tom slams into the wall. Jerry often makes Tom slam into walls so often, I think he might have ruptured his skull. There was an awkward pause before he continued. Guns and knives. That's the other thing. Always too safe to kill off Tom or Jerry. It's some random quirk. You just wish one of them would have won, you know? Mr. Sharp pulled out a pistol himself. In fact, I think I should demonstrate it right now. He fired a shot off screen. One of the bulbs of the production lights exploded on impact. Glass scattered across Mr. Sharp's face. The glass scattered, but he didn't seem to mind. In fact, he scooped some of the glass and rubbed it on himself. Scraping and squelching was heard before Mr. Sharp looks at the screen. Everyone shrieked. Mr. Sharp's puppety eyes were cut, trickling a slow stream of blood. He smiled at the camera, that eerie smile. "You like violence, don't you?" he asked calmly, like he was asking about the weather. "Maybe you'd want more," he added. He scraped across a glass shard across his forehead. Another trickle of blood coated his eyelids. He sat back in his spot. "I hope we covered all things, so I leave you off with a goodbye." He paused and then pulled out a pistol. "Here, let me say goodbye for you." The camera was shot. The camera glitched as the camera clattered, pointing up. It showed no one around, not even the cameraman. The episode cuts to black. Aftermath. What happened after the series was nothing more than disastrous. The director was reprimanded and later arrested for assault and other criminal charges. The director, Jim Fortier, had reported that he never had a relative and went on to defend himself. Adult Swim executives were reprimanded for reports of the workers from the testing room vanishing surfaced and even rumored. It wasn't until shows like The Brock Show, Aqua Team Hunger Force, and other series that blinded Adult Swim from its incident. Nowadays, the series had vanished with only the coming soon poster of the series being shown on TVs. It was rumored that the remaining episodes that were aired on special edition box sets of Adult Swim in a box. But that was said to be only a rumor. Let's leave it at that. Well, that's the end of the creepypasta. And I don't know about this one. So, this is supposed to be a live action but puppet show. Mr. Sharp is a puppet, but somehow can bleed normal blood through his puppetness? Okay. Think the ending's phrased a bit poorly. I'm not sure why Adult Swim need to be blinded from its incident. I think it's better phrased that when the shows came out that they distracted the public and made them, out of sight, out of mind, forget about the series. I think that's what they were meaning. I'm not sure about Adult Swim in a box, why we're leaving it at that. I'm not sure about any of this. I'm mostly confused. I'm gonna give it a 2 out of 10. I'm just confused. I am just very confused. But let me know what you think. But I think it's a good time for me to say that it's bye-bye for now. Bye.